Hey everybody, it's Ryan from Ryan and Bethany Board Game Reviews, and today we're talking about Zeal. This is it's not quite an area control game, but kind of. You are basically trying to conquer the world with your religion, which is taking place every day in real life. Alright, so let me show you how it plays. Alright, here is our setup for Zeal. We have kind of a map of the world all broken up into different regions. And every region starts off with 2 of these flock tokens. Those are going to be kind of what we use to get our area majorities and that kind of thing. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to start the game off with one of our temples. And you put it anywhere on the board. And then everybody else is going to place a temple anywhere on the board as well. It just cannot be adjacent. So let's say they go there. The goal of the game is to get all 10 of your temples out on the board. Alright, so we also have these 6 miracle cards. Basically, you're going to secretly choose 2 of them to discard and keep the other 4 back. These are special abilities that you can use throughout the game. There are one-time abilities, like Baby Boom here says, basically anywhere where you have a temple, add on a flock. And then it's also this little pentagram symbol says it's a one-time use. But then there's these, I'm going to say it wrong, Ouroboros symbols on the bottom. Those, if you have one of those out there, that's out there for the rest of the game. These cards have a cost. Basically, you have to make a sacrifice paying that many of your flock in order to play that card. So in this case, you'd have to get rid of one of your flock in order to have that out there. Alright, so let's get rid of 2 of these. And we've got our 4 that we're remaining with. There are 2 phases to your turn. The first phase is you get a chance to play one of your cards. That's called the miracle phase. If you play one of your cards, you get to do whatever that action is as long as you pay the sacrifice cost. There's also a card in there that allows you to put out a prophet. So everybody has a prophet token, and each prophet has its own special abilities. So if you play a card that has that prophet, they're usually, require a little bit bigger sacrifice than the other cards. But you put that out there, it kind of moves around and does its own thing, and wherever it lands, it can do special abilities. All that prophet stuff and all those miracle cards happen during that phase 1 of the game. During phase 2, that's our action phase. This is kind of when we're going to spread out a little bit and get more and more of these temples out there. Alright, so the first action we can do is called Multiply. We basically can, wherever we have one of our temples, add another one of those flock tokens to that spot. Another action we can take is called the Slaughter action. Basically, that's kind of a trade-off. So basically, you can take away one of the flock from your own spot, and also take away one from an adjacent spot. Now the third action is probably one of the most important ones. This is called Convert. This is where you actually get a chance to put out some of your own temples. However, the rule is you must have 3 times the amount of flock in your current space as you do to the adjacent space that you're trying to convert over. So right now, after that slaughter, we have 2 here on yellow, we have 1 here on that reddish one. So let's do 1 more of the multiply actions. So now we've got 3 to 1. Then on a future turn, then we can do the convert action, and then we can make that our own. Now let's pretend that had been yellow somehow, which that wouldn't work in this exact scenario, but if this had been yellow, we can still take that action. In fact, we could take their temple off, put ours there, and theirs goes back to the supply. The 4th action you can take is called the Exodus. This is where you can move pieces from one area to adjacent areas. So let's say maybe we were worried about having this spot getting taken over by your opponent. What we can do is we can move a couple of these from an adjacent spot over to kind of help defend it. There's also a rule that at the end of every round, if there are more than 5 of those flock tokens on a given area, you have to get rid of one. It's starved. There's just not enough food to pay for that giant flock. But there are rules around that. Many of the cards have to do with starvation and kind of giving you better allowances for that. And don't forget also, the prophet's still going to be moving around, doing its actions, helping out things, maybe doing extra miracles, maybe taking extra actions. So here's a list of all of the different colors on the board and all of the different prophet actions that they can do. So as you can see, they're all very, very different. So yeah, that's the majority of the game. You just want to expand as best as you can. The first person to get all 10 of their temples out there is going to be declared the winner. Alright, so one of my favorite parts about this game is the fact that it comes in a cigar box. First of all, what a great size. It's super sturdy, and it's recycled, which is a lot of fun. Alright, so in this game, I think that the strong point was all those different actions that allowed you to kind of take things over. It was a lot of fun and really swingy to be able to take over someone else's temple and place yours in as well. I also really enjoyed the prophets. There was so many different options of what you could do with the prophets. Now, I will say that the rules were a little less clear as far as how they came out and when they came out and that kind of thing. And maybe if it wouldn't come out at all if you didn't choose that as one of the cards that you chose, starting one of the miracle cards that you started the game with. But some of those could really kind of make or save the day for you. This is a game that we kind of really struggled with to enjoy at first. The more we played it, the more we caught on. But early on, it just seemed like a very, very simple place a cube down, place a tile down, and that's kind of all it amounted to. And even after several plays, it's still all amounted to, but there was a little bit more intrigue. You kind of found ways to work those miracle cards to your advantage, playing those cards that you put out a whole bunch of those flock tiles, or those more of your cubes were able to add on, or able to use the profits a little bit more accurately and a little more strategically in order to plan that out. Another thing I really enjoyed, which I wish more games did, is there's basically, a mercy rule. You can basically say, at this point, I've played all my cards. The math is there that I'm not going to win. You don't have to just kind of grind it out and just let them kind of slowly take you over. And you can say, okay, I tap out. I'm losing. It's fine. Let's play again. Let's reset and go again, or whatever it is. So many games, you get to that point where you're just like, I know I can't win. I have a couple choices here. I could either just quit, which is not in the rules, and then I have to upset my person who would have won and rob them of their victory, or you can grind it out and just really not enjoy the next half hour of your life and just knowing that you're going to mathematically lose the game. Or the other option is king make. You can basically choose who wins the game if there's multiple players. So I really enjoy that there's just a way that you can just understand from the beginning of the game, one of us can quit whenever we want to, and the other person is going to be declared the victory without it being like a cheap hollow victory as well. So this is kind of an interesting game. It's a game that I don't see us playing very often, to be honest. We're not really big area control people, and the theme is a little weird, a little dark and gruesome. It came out abstract on the board, but still, the idea of conquering with that religious, the whole Crusades kind of thing, not really a fun theme that we enjoy playing. Yeah, but if you like that light 2-player, maybe 3-player strategy, abstract game like that with some area control elements and some special abilities, check out Zeal. All right, you guys, as always, you can subscribe to us here on YouTube. Otherwise, you can find us on Facebook. We are Ryan and Bethany Board Game Reviews. We're also on Twitter, @RyanandBethany1, and we are on Instagram, @RyanandBethany. All right, guys, thanks so much for watching, and we will see you next time. Bye.